Hello's AP Stats class of 2026. It is I, Sergio Guerrero, your beloved classmate, and I'm here to show you all about chi-squared homogeneity. You may be asking yourself, what is chi-squared homogeneity? I swear that sounds kind of familiar. I think I remember learning that a while back. But what exactly is it? Well, as you can see here, chi-square homogeneity, it allows us to determine whether the distribution for several categorical variables across two or more populations is valid. So, in simple terms, it lets you check the difference between groups to see if they're real or if they're due to chance. The overall test uses the basic chi-square statistic and distribution that we've learned. To perform a test, what you need is something like, let's see, you need HO, which is your null hypothesis, and you need HA, which is your alternate. Now, regarding the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis, for our null hypothesis, you would be there is no difference in the distribution of insert category variable here among the populations. And regarding our alternative hypothesis, there would be a difference in the distribution of category variables among the populations. Now, before we get into our practice problem that we will be going over, I just want to show two real quick equations that we will need to understand. The first one is the expected counts equation, which we will need row total times column, let's just do TLL, total, and we'll put that over the total tables total. And this is equal to the expected counts. The next equation we'll need is the chi-square statistic equation, which is equal to the sum of the observed minus the expected squared over the expected. And if you ever forget the equation, it's on your formula sheet. So that's pretty helpful. And here we have our example, which we will be going over and solving together. It reads, is there a difference in the distribution of personality types across certain college majors? A college professor at a large university conducts a stratified study to determine which of the big five personality traits a person displays the most of. The results are shown in this beautifully drawn table below. So, as you can see here, does the data provide evidence that there is a difference in the distribution of personality types across college majors? We'll be using a 5% significance level to solve this question. We'll be starting with our states. And of course, we gotta mention our 5% significance level, which is our alpha equals 0.05. And along with this, we don't need to redraw the table or anything. All the information is right here. So what we do need is our null hypothesis and our alternates. Our null hypothesis states that there is no difference in the distribution of personality types among college majors, and our alternative hypothesis states there is a difference in the distribution of personality types among college majors. So, basically the same thing, but instead of there not being one, there is one. So the next thing that we've got to worry about is our plan right here, which is the same as all our other state plan do concludes types of things. As you can see here, we start with random, checking our random condition. And if you look here at the question, we have a stratified study, which means random. So we can check that off the list. And then for an independent, we got 450, which is the total of our table, is less than or equal to 0.1 of all students at university, which we can assume is true. We can assume both these conditions are met. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to make an expected counts table, which basically means we make this table again, but instead of using the values we were given, we have to plug in to our calculator all of these values, and you'd get these if you plug them in correctly into inference. And then you go to statistic tests, you go to chi-square, make sure you go to homogeneity, and then just plug everything in right here, and you should get this information. So with this information, we have effectively gotten the counts. Now we would be moving on to our do. So what we're basically doing is you just go back to our calculator and you click next where the graph is, or not graph, the table. You should get these values. So what you gotta write chi-square test for homogeneity up here. So let them know that you use a calculator pretty much. And your chi-squared should be equal to 14.551, p-value of 0.0685, and your degrees of freedom would be about 8. And now finally, we can move on to our conclude, which is our final segment. So we start with saying, because our p-value of 0.0685 is larger than the significance of 0.05, we fail to reject our known hypothesis. Can't do it, but you understand it. We do not have convincing evidence that there is a difference in the distribution of personality types among the 3 college types. There we go. So that concludes our, let's see. That concludes our example problem. Here's the full thing. As you can see, I've completed the entire example. From our state, to our plan, to our do, to our conclude. We have everything. So this is chi-square test of homogeneity. And I will be signing out now.